all lamps now. We have this thing called the lampshade. So I literally remember the first time that I did it with somebody, I felt something go up into my body. Really known until after the process about the Shekinah light Omega. Like Shekinah is a demon. I've seen movies burning sands, but I'm like, none of this stuff real, man. I'm signing these documents saying that we're not a non-Haitian organization. That first night we there, my rear end was as black as my pants. Paddled, and every single time that somebody was paddled, it was telling people thank you for guiding us to the course of Omega. Told not to hit back, don't respond. Every single time somebody says Omega, you have to bow your head. First stage of being a dog. I'll never forget our dog night. Eating a meal on all fours. And then after we got done eating our meals, there's people throwing up. It was like, you gotta eat your meal. You gotta eat your, and everybody's blindfolded. You're not seeing what you're eating.
What's the food? What was y'all eating?
I don't even know. We had Omega hors d'oeuvres before one period of time. It was a sandwich. I don't know the specifics what was in there, but we had to eat it and pass it, and it had to be good. I remember traveling to Italy, where we had a piece of, everybody had a piece of, big old piece of garlic. We had Omega apples that we would eat. These are these huge onions. I remember by myself eating 8 of them. After everybody's done eating what they're eating, they say, you don't have a voice anymore, you now have a bark. You don't have hands anymore, you now have paws. Bark once for yes, bark twice for no.
Do you understand?
Everybody's losing money. We paying for substances we shouldn't be paying for. Supporting people's habits and addictions. We're going through weeks of this. We're still trying to do classes. Lord have mercy. Traveling down south.
What's traveling down south?
So some people are like, okay, did you go up north or did you go down south? Up north is if up here, but down south is when you
demonic.
These documents saying that we're not a non-Haitian organization. So.
All right, Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there onto the life foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. And what this clearly shows, this particular video, was another video seen today on the Eastern Star. I was thinking about doing that, but, you know, let's see how the spirit goes. I might just incorporate it with it. I might do that. But what these videos do show, and oh, how can I forget? Young Pharaoh. If anybody don't know who Young Pharaoh is, look him up. I might even put that in there. But what this shows, like we've been saying through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, y'all niggas are into, y'all knee deep into witchcraft. All right, there's not one particular tribe that's into witchcraft. All of y'all, all the 12 tribes have been into witchcraft, still into witchcraft. All right, I just seen another particular video. I guess the a rapper, Blueface, and the chick that he was dealing with, and she was doing voodoo on his ass, and then he just walked out. Like the Lord is letting me know, He's letting me know what the fuck y'all do in the dark, for real. It's not, ain't no more hiding it. It's no more misguidance and misunderstanding. Nah, y'all into different gods. Y'all been worshiping other gods, as you have done in the beginning of time. Y'all was always going off. All right, always going off. Now there's been a lot of Jake that's being hung. Now I'm putting two and two together. Yeah, most likely it is a hate crime, but you never know. It could be that other Jakes is doing it, because these are the dogs that keep the secrets of the elites. These are the protectors of the elites. They're the ones that bring the chaos. All right, they're the ones that's doing all the damnedest things you could possibly think to keep their masses afloat, to keep their masses unhinged. Like there was a Jake I did the video on talking about Hebrew Israelites, how evil they are, this, that, to the third. What, these people just they just pop out of nowhere? No, they're not popping out of nowhere. These are agents sent. The more we understand, the more you see how they got compromised and what they do. And they all trying to eat in the same table as the so-called white man. They trying to be as the so-called white man. All right? And this is the proof of it. And all they doing is maintaining his lies, showing that they're nothing but low life pieces of shit. There's been practice, there's been throughout our history as a nation. We have plenty of Jake and that sold out nation of Israel to be with the other nations. All right. One particular person I'm thinking is Achan, and that not because he sold out, because he didn't follow instruction, but what's so significant about Achan is that his name means trouble. So these people carry the spirit of Achan on them. They bring trouble. That's when Apostle Paul said long ago, just we know it's not true, but he said if it was that. Salakia, I had a phone call. So I'm just gonna go with the spirit. I know I was talking about Achan. My memory's not that good, so I'm just gonna go with the spirit. But yeah, things of this nature just prove that you Negroes, y'all do practice witchcraft to this very moment, to this very day, and it's the same reason why we got jacked up as a people. Now all this comes from the Greeks. Matter of fact, I'll start with that one. All this fraternity and sorority shit came from the Greeks. And it so happened we have history on that. First Maccabees 1:11. And it says, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So Jake already had this mindset throughout our history to be one of the other nations, to be down with the nations. A cheap thrill, so to speak, a cheap way of making it. Riches and glory. All this stuff that's happening now is nothing new. It's part of Jake's DNA. And this is why we fell as a people. And where everybody complains and say, oh, God don't love us, and you don't love the Most High. You prove this time and time again. And it says, so this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. So they got permission to do the things that they're doing. Now, what's part of the sororities and fraternities and so forth? It's wealth, economic wealth, is to be above the rest. So all these people, they have the tendencies of wants to remove themselves from the pack, but not because the rest of the people are bad. And no, they just because of riches. All right, because earthly riches that's corrupted their minds. So it's the same thing that's happened. Why would you join a fraternity? And then look how the guys explaining everything. Now you supposed to be claiming intelligence and so forth. Would you not know that that's part of a ritual? And people act like they're ignorant. There was a woman. I gotta put that in there. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that part in there because what she said. People, I tell you, Hold on for a second. Let me see if I can remember. Should be right there. Yes.
If you are.
So this particular video. Shout out to GMS Dedication. He did a amazing work right here. Come on, come on.
Eastern Star, I think you should watch this. There are many Eastern Stars all over the place. All colors.
Not this one. The shoe was good too. Not this one. I believe it should be around this corner. No, this is the guy. They all break it down good. Salakia, there's a lot of good information, but this
Ritualistic foundations. But correctly, it was about before sunset. And that was important that it happened at a certain time when I came through as the sun was coming down. So I remember sitting in a car and she said, I'll text you and let you know when to come out. And I'm like, okay. I'm in the car, she's in there. It took all about maybe an hour. It was an hour. I'm sitting in there like, okay. So she finally came. They were waiting for the time to go down. So she finally came out and got me, and she said, I have to blindfold you. And I'm like, this is my girl from high school. So I'm expecting her to give me some tea. Give me a little bit more about what I'm doing.
So this also proves that one thing too. You women are fully down with this shit. Fraternities and sororities. All right. Now she's playing dumb like everybody else is. They play the role of dumb like we don't know what we was doing. But in reality, back in your mind, you knew exactly what you was doing. Consciously, you knew what you was doing. You knew what the gift was. If you did this thing, you would get. That's the part that you may not understand it fully, but something deep inside of you told you this is not a good thing. And they know that. All right. But they move forward because what? They wanted to be a part of the system, to be above the rest. All right.
She gave me nothing. Okay. She blindfolded me and she held my hand. And I remember stopping at a point and she turned me around and she said, you have to walk backwards. And I was like, okay. So I was just like, really, literally the blind leading the blind. I'm following her. So I'm walking backwards slowly, trying not to trip backwards. And I stopped. She stopped me. And I guess I was at a door. So I felt behind me. There was a door. I feel her next to me. So she was like, I'll be right back. Just stand here. I'm blindfolded with my back to the door. And then the door opened. So all I have was my sense of hearing. So I hear the door open and somebody touch my shoulder and tell me to proceed backwards. So I'm walking in backwards. I get in the room. Like when you have on a blindfold, you can tell if the light is on. Because through the blindfold, you still can see some essence of light. Pitch black. Even like looking down, pitch black in the room. So I'm led backward. And now I understand that different people were sitting at different points of the star. I think I was in the middle of the circle, but in the middle of that star. So they were all speaking, doing the ritual, having me say stuff, and I couldn't take the blindfold off. I never took the blindfold off until after I did all the I do's and yes of answering the different the different things that they would ask me. Do you uphold the this and that of the organization of the order? Please respond by saying I do. So when I did all that, I had my right hand on the Bible. Don't know what page it was turned to, but I was saying this and pledging on the Bible. And thinking about it now and knowing God and having a relationship with God and knowing that how God feels about oaths and vows, what I was doing was a big no-no. It was a big no-no, making vows and oaths, and then I had to sign my name on something. I guess on the not an application, but the certificate or their logbook. I don't know what that was.
So you hear all this stuff that she says, and then she still plays a role of like she's dumb, like she don't know what was really going on. And you only could get so far in life with that attitude, but y'all knew exactly what y'all was doing, and that's the whole point. All right. Because deep down inside, y'all all wanted to make it. Y'all all wanted to be a part of this. Okay? Your friend, you told you was enticed. Why does shit keep coming up? Man, this is annoying. And this guy, he brought up some stuff too. Hold on. I'm not gonna play that now yet. This is a fucking pain in the ass right now. Let me go to real quick. Saint Matthew's 4 and 8. Or should I do Luke 4 and 8? You know what? Let's do Luke. Luke 4 and 6. It says, and the devil said unto him, matter of fact, I gotta go up. And the devil took him up into the high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give unto thee, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whosoever I will give it. So what was this passage here for? This passage is here for because the Lord wanted to show you that in order to make it into this world, you have to bow down to Satan. All right? Even the most, what we think is the most minute thing, Satan is involved. All right? The most minute thing that you think is nothing, like joining gangs and not knowing that with the gang signs and everything like that, what are they? They're Masonic signs. All right? They're throwing up Masonic signs. This whole world is etched on wickedness. This whole world is etched on enticing people to live a humble life, to live a certain type of lifestyle. All right? Everybody be approached. How far is your integrity? How far would you go? This is why the Lord put this there for it, to show, let it be known. And it says, if thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine. And Yahushua answered and said unto him, get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. And that's the Lord showing a path of integrity, how to get out of that moment of temptation. But the thing with the majority of our people is they don't want to be humble. They don't want a simple life. They want to live luxurious. St. John 8 and 44, ye are your father the devil, and the lust of your father, ye are your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So Yahushua was comparing his people to Satan. He was comparing his people to the Romans, because that's who they were following. All right, that's when they made their statement. The 14th chapter, I believe, St. John 14th chapter. I'm just gonna quote it: that one man should die for everyone's sins, and their main concern was, they wasn't concerned about what the Lord was doing. It was concerned about the noise that he was making, and that they would lose the position of power that they had with the Romans. That's all they was concerned about. They ain't concerned about that this is the Messiah that we all been waiting for, who's going to take us out of this this thing. Matter of fact, let me get it. I don't think it's 10. No, Salakia. Um, St. John 18. Okay, I was wrong. 18 and I started 12. Then the band and the captain and the officers of the Jews took Yahushua and bound him. Sorry. Okay. And led him away to Ananias first, for he was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, which was the high priest that same year. Now Caiaphas was he which gave counsel to the Jews that it was expedite that one should die for the people. So this is how they think, like, yeah, one should die. They didn't care what the Lord was doing. It was another one. Hold on, let me see if I can say precept that. Precept that. Is it this one? Yes. This is St. John 11. I'm gonna read it from here at 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedite for us, that one should die for the people, and the whole nation perish not. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation, and and not for the not for that nation alone, but that also he should gather together and one of the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad. So he knew who he was. And I gotta go up a bit because it says something else. I gotta go up a bit. Slakia. Okay, there it is. It's 47. Oh, and it points at 48. It says, Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees in the council and, and said, What do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. So what was they concerned? They wasn't concerned about anything. They was only concerned about their place, all right, and nation. Because they was spoken very well. People looked up to them. They were the closest thing, even though they calmed everybody down because Herod and his people, there wasn't of them. So they was the ones supposed to be the great scripture keepers and keeping the peace between. And who comes in mind with all this? These are the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, all the Boulay members, okay, the Eastern Star members. It's a conglomerate of people that you think your neighbor that's keeping this fucking system going. All right. That's all they doing is keeping this system going. This is not a singular. It's just the people that's on top and they in the darkness, and they have, they have in mind to destroy Jake without certain Jakes knowing exactly what they're planning. All right. They all part of the same fucking wicked system because what's in stake for them? They get a place in this world. That's all they're concerned about. That's why they will do the things that they do because they don't want to be left out. They want to be within. Make someone the worst type of person that you could ever imagine. These are the worst individuals that the Lord created. The sellouts, the fucking sellouts, are the worst. All right, they are the fucking worst. They're the first. That's why 2/3 of the nation of Israel gotta go. Now you have the other 2/3 that just doing shit in pure ignorance. Like they don't have a clue what the hell they're doing. They just trying to be down. But then you have those that are smart. In this case, The 2 videos, these are college educated individuals who researches everything. But look what they're doing and how they're doing it. All right. And everybody was shocked that Diddy and all the stuff you're hearing about, all these things that's been done in the dark is coming out. But when you realize it's a conglomerate of individuals, then it all starting to make sense. All right. It's not a secret club for certain individuals. It's a gigantic organization where everybody's involved. And if you're not part of that club, you don't know what's going on. You fall right into the trap. And that's exactly how Esau wanted to do. Because Esau, he can't reproduce himself and he have to, what's the word? He have to recruit people. That's why they, in the ancient world, so I'm going back to First Maccabees, they had to get permission. They asked for a license to do what they wanted to do. All right. So that's another license is Christianity. And you have to teach the way they want you to teach. If you go against what they teach, they'll take you out. So all these individuals come around acting as if their shit don't stink, and that's Jake for you. Okay? They act like they're above everything. What I'm looking for, it's First Corinthians? Second Corinthians. I believe it's 15, right? It says 2 Corinthians 11 and 15. Therefore, it is no great thing if 14. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. So they come down as if they're righteous. They for the vested interest, the protected, the guards, all right, the guard units. So you have like another prime example, Officer Tatum, that piece of shit, and what's his other guy's name? Anton Daniels, another piece of shit. They have one specter of the wicked force, and you have everybody else that comes against that. All right, they're all playing a game of as if they're going back and forth with one another. One is going to be righteous, and one's going to appeal to those that they want to appeal to. The other's going to act like they're for the people. And all they doing, the infighting, they all part of the same club, doing the same goddamn thing. They followed Esau to the T. That's why once again, Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to get rid of 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Jeremiah 28 and 11. I'm sorry, not Jeremiah. It's Isaiah 28. And I'm going to the point. 4:15. It says, because you have said we have made a covenant with death. Talking about whom? 2/3. And they have made a covenant with death. Everything that they was being done, the humiliation, the homosexuality acts that they have committed, they call it experience. All the shit that they did was to maintain their stead in this world, to be a part of this world. And it's a sick fucking thing when you really think about it. And like one woman broke it down. I should have saved it. She was breaking. No, I put it in the chats, but I'm not gonna go look for it now. She said that that act when they do that nasty shit, which we all know, which is nothing new. I'm not gonna go high in graphic detail. She says, but that penetration invokes or introduce a person to demonic forces. All right. Trauma is one of the main things that the demons thrive into. So the more traumatic the experience, the more demons get into a person. So these people literally damage their selves, because like the woman was breaking it down, that you can't literally sell your soul. That doesn't belong to you. But you can dishonor your temple. And that's exactly what these societies act. They act like they're humbling you, but they push things even more forward. All right. So they made a covenant with death, and with hell are we in agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. And that's what they have done. All right. They made lies their refuge. The false signs, the false religion. Like I said, I might have to do another show on that one. Maybe I don't. I don't know. It was very disturbing with young Pharaoh, because he was part of that thing. And guys like that, they don't, the young pharaohs and so forth, they don't what you gonna call it? They don't have a problem with that, because they would sit there and tell you as audience that came from Egypt. So they already have in mind, like, look, this is part of the Egyptian culture. This is nothing. They will tell you straight up, the white man stole these rituals from us. So they all carry the same spirit. Matter of fact, some said that. I don't want to make this too long, but it is what it is. Isaiah 32:1, I believe. No, sorry. 31. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, that stay on horses and chariots, because there are many. I'm sorry, it's not the one. 30:1. So woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down to Egypt, and have not asked out my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and trust in the shadow of Egypt. And that's all they do. All these jakes, that's all they have been doing, is trusting the shadow of Egypt. All right. They trust in this system. They trust how things going. They trust in his education. As long as their families reach a certain level, and they know the consequences and repercussions of what they do. They know. That's why when you see a celebrity's child dies and they acting like, oh, they all sad and shit, like they knew the consequences that they did. So that means it'll make them more evil. All right. That's why, once again, 2/3 of the nation of Israel gotta fucking go. They gotta go. All right. Going back to Isaiah 28 and 16. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation, that is a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. So the cornerstone, the sure foundation, is talking about Yahweh Shai. See, that was always our outing. Yahweh Shai was the way. He cursed the devil out. Told him, now get thee behind me. He gave us the prime example. And without him, we all fucked. All right. Hey, the scripture said, if you break one law, it's like you break all of them. That means that nobody would have a fucking fighting chance of no sort of repentance whatsoever. But Yahweh Shai is the one. All right. And those that believe in Yahweh Shai will be saved. It says, judgment also will I lay to line, and righteousness to plummet, and the hell shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell shall not stand. When the overflowing scourge, which is talking about the judgment, when all hell breaks loose, you don't have a position of anything. When all hell breaks loose, when the Lord let things loose, you're going to be an example. You're going to be taken out violently, however the Lord sees fits. Because that act of witchcraft that these jakes are performing, that's worthy unto death. And it says, then shall you be trodden by it. So that's the judgment. And let me end this off with this particular video, this part. So like it for being all over the place.
Spiritual headship of Lucifer. Not judging, just saying. But it's what do I know? Any woman who joins the star, the Order of Eastern Star, she is submitting herself to the spiritual headship of Lucifer. This is what makes her the witch. And she doesn't even know it because it's just witchcraft. It's witchcraft. That's what it is. And that's why you'll find some of these women, a lot of these women that's in these Masonic chapters and sororities, they got this independent. I'm an independent woman. Even if they marry, they have a rebellious spirit to them in a way. They don't have a spirit of submission to their husbands. Why? Because their submission is to Lucifer. So they don't have any reverence for their husbands. Well, because the woman feels like she got the wisdom. The woman feels like she's independent. The woman feels like she's got the spiritual knowledge. So the husband is no longer the provider. The husband is no longer her spiritual authority. Now it's Lucifer. Yet when they kneel at a Masonic altar and take those oaths, they are entering Satan's dominion. You are entering his dominion. You are entering his kingdom spiritually. You're going to church physically, right? But you are entering Satan's domain spiritually. You see the Christian church that you're walking into along with your Masonic brothers and sisters, but you do not see your entry point or your entrance into Satan's dominion spiritually, because you can't see the spirit world. So it says, yet when they kneel at the Masonic altar and take oaths, they are entering Satan's dominion, whether they know it or not. When you are entering Satan's dominion, whether you know it or not, when you find an oath to Freemasonry or any of these Greek fraternities and sororities, whether you know it or not, you are entering Satan's domain, okay? And it says, this opens the door to all manner of problems. We have dealt with women who entered the star and then felt their night's trouble by strange dreams and demonic activity. Come on, y'all. I ain't telling y'all this just for my own health. See, we have dealt with women who have entered the star, the Order of Eastern Star, and then found their night's trouble by strange dreams and demonic activity. There you go. Oh, there you go.
There you go. And what does that mean? That's why the household of so-called Jake is the way it is. Surprise. Once again, that's why 2/3 of you gotta go. You've been playing the harlot for a long fucking time, and the Lord has he had enough. All right. Matter of fact, me and it is on here. Jeremiah 2:21 on down. It says, yet I planted thee a noble vine, holy right seed. How then have thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? For though thou wash thee with nitrate and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquities marked before me, saith the Lord, Yahweh. How canst thou say, I am not polluted? I have not gone after Balaam. See thy way in the valley. Know that thou hast done. Thou art a swift Denadrim, travailing in her ways, meaning a female camel in heat, right? As a wild ass, that's the wilderness, that sniff up the wind at her pleasure and occasion, who can turn her away? All that seek thee all that seek her will not weary themselves in her month. They shall find her. Wherewith thy foot being unsured, and thy throat from thirst, but thou sayest, there's no hope. For I have loved strangers, after them will I go. As a thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. Their kings and their priests, the princes and their priests and their prophets, saying to the stock, thou art my father, unto the stone, that have brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face, but in the time of their trouble, they would say, arise and save us. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. For according to the number of the cities are thy gods, O Judah. Wherefore will I plead with you? Wherefore will you plead with me? You have all have transgressed against me, saith the Lord. In vain have I smoten your children. They have received no correction. Your own sword have devoured your prophets like a destroying lion. O generation, see ye the word of the Lord. Have I been in a wilderness unto Israel, a land of darkness? Wherefore saith my people, we are lords, we will come no more unto thee. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocent. I have not found it by secret search, but upon all these. Yet thou sayest, because I am innocent, surely his anger shall turn from me. Behold, I will plead with thee, because thou sayest, I have not sinned. Why gettest thou about so much to change thy way? Thou also shalt be ashamed of Egypt, as I was ashamed of Assyria. Yea, thou shalt go forth from him, and thine hands upon thy head, for the Lord have rejected thy confidence, and thou shalt not prosper in them. So, yeah, 2/3 of the nation of Israel is doomed. Point blank, period. So, with that being said, Shalom. Sorry for the choppiness, but it is what it is. Shalom.